Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
I think you need to do Hawaiian shirt Fridays once a month or something on the last Friday.
With everybody?
Yeah.
Eh? Wouldn't that be kind of cool? What would y'all think of that?
Didn't hear.
Hawaiian shirt Fridays on the last Friday of every month.
No, it's not terrible.
Oh, we're not looking for
Curmudgeon.
negatives?
I'm just-
Anybody
you
else
asked me
have,
my opinion,
anybody
I
have a
said my
positive,
opinion. I
something
just told you my
positive?
opinion.
Anybody have something positive they want to say?
You asked opinion, I told you I think it's a horrible idea. Everybody else can wear it, you can do it. I don't have to be like you just because everybody else is doing it.
Yeah, my son would definitely wear that.
Can I wear my Midwest Princess shirt?
Whatever you.
Well, I think Art wears Hawaiian shirts anyway. Right?
Yes.
All
If you
right.
serve alcohol with the shirts, we'll think about it.
Really, it takes that?
It does, pretty much.
Okay,
Got to be drunk to wear
I want to ask everybody a question. And we're just going to go around. Do we have people online? Okay.
Yes,
I mean,
Carlos is on.
Anybody?
You can see
Is Carlos the
Carlos.
only one? Okay.
Right now.
Morning, Carlos.
Working with God and sons.
I don't know if I'm
Good
on.
everybody.
Okay, there. Okay, so,
Yeah, thank you.
okay, I'm not a techie. I just hope there are people here that are. As you know, the purpose of this is finding clients, okay? And last week, everybody hears a lot about what I say in terms of using MapRight to find clients. We're not going over MapRight today, so don't worry. What I want you to tell me is, how do you use CoStar? We're just going to go around. How do you use CoStar?
To find distressed properties.
Okay, to find distressed properties.
I don't use CoStar. It's
You don't
something I
use
need
CoStar?
to- I need to get into it.
Okay.
I need to get into it and do a little bit more.
Okay, so tell me, okay, Philippe,
Yes.
how do you use CoStar?
Search properties, comps, just get basic information, depending on the detail. I know what certain things that they offer that I'm sure there's more to it that I could learn from it, but there's just specifics that I go for. When
Okay,
I'm trying to buy an area or whichever, the rest of the time I can pretty much do it through the ways you've taught me. You guys, you know what I mean? Open
Okay.
corporate, stuff like
Well,
that.
I don't- I haven't, mainly for me, because I haven't had to, use CoStar. Before I do this, Steve, your use of CoStar?
Yes.
How? What's your main interest in CoStar?
So right now, it's pretty much the same thing Philippe said. So I
Okay.
used to get comps, I used to learn about the area. We were shown the other day some ways to prospect.
Okay, who was shown?
The group, we aren't here on Wednesdays when they do the Zoom thing because we're out in Washington.
But who showed? The person at
Yeah,
CoStar?
CoStar.
Okay. Well, they may have some of the same ideas as I do. I don't know. Judy?
I've used it for comps, but have not used it as
Okay, yes. Tell me your name again.
I'm Jackie. I've never used CoStar before.
Yes, but it's Jackie?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you. I'm old, I'm hard of hearing, and I don't mean to be ugly.
Turn it up.
They are.
He has them in, he just doesn't have them out.
I've got my hearing aids in. And the only person I can hear sometimes is me. Yes, ma'am.
I have played around with it, but I haven't used it.
Okay,
Same, I haven't used it, I use Craigslist.
okay,
Yeah, I don't use.
okay. And you're new, so I'm not going to say how you use CoStar.
I've checked around Crexy, yeah.
Okay, you've looked at Crexy. Kevin?
Properties, but I don't use it enough.
Okay. Most of the time, and I will say this, I haven't always been positive CoStar, mainly because I think they're expensive as all get out. And they're very proud of what they have. But at the same time, we try to use the technology that is available to us. And the purpose of this is getting you to think outside the box. Okay? When you look at, for example, MapRight, I show you how to take MapRight and apply it to finding clients. I want you to look at CoStar, and what I will do is I'll use CoStar in conjunction with MapRight, because CoStar has information that we need, okay? What's that? On the screen. Carlos, are you able to see the screen?
He's muted. You're muted, Carlos.
I didn't hear the question.
Okay, are you able to see the screen with the map?
Yes, I can.
Okay, Alexandra, you can see it too?
You're muted,
I'm going to
Alexander.
assume that you can.
Yes,
Thank you.
yes, I can. Yes, thank you.
What is this picture of?
Houston.
Now, I want to know, where did I get this?
Google Maps.
Nope.
No? That right.
Nope.
It's Energy Corridor, KW Commercial Houston.
When you pull up CoStar, this is what you pull up. Okay? You're pulling up a map. Now, when you pull it up, it's probably not going to look like that. How do I?
Just go to your CoStar screen.
Anyway,
No, go to your CoStar.
there it is. I pull up properties. What's that a picture of?
There's a picture of all the properties that are listed and not listed,
Okay. So, which ones are listed?
the blue ones.
Blue ones are listed. That means the gray are not listed.
Right.
But, which is kind of a fascinating thing. If you go into Crexi, you don't necessarily get this kind of information. All you're getting is listings, and you can find some history, but not all history as far as information that I deem important. I don't know. There it is. Okay. All right. So, whenever I'm looking at this, I look at a screenshot of this, and what this is telling me is these properties are for sale, or listed here somehow, okay? Which is good, but a lot of times what we do is, who was it that shouldn't have tunnel vision? Huh?
Our son.
Okay. Claire and I just talked about this morning. Our son got rave reviews. The one thing that they said is gets a little bit of tunnel vision. That's not necessarily a bad thing, but what it means is we get very focused on what we want to do. And we forget, okay, what are the peripheral things that we can see with what we're looking at? If you go into CoStar every time and you say, I want comps, I want comps, I want comps, that's all you're gaining. You may be very good at comps, but if you don't explore what you're looking at, it's just like MapRight. I'll open up something and people go, huh, I didn't know that information was there. You probably do now, but in CoStar, there's information available to you that gives you opportunities to find new clients. Okay, so whenever I'm looking at this, let me do this. One of the things you're going to see whenever you go into CoStar, you're going to see some different categories. News, properties, category sale, grays and blues. What do I mean by that? All the little star things. Some of them are gray, some of them are blue. A lot of times we turn off the grays. We want to find the blues. Yes, ma'am?
I'm just gonna bring your screen, your thing back up.
What did I do?
Minimize it.
Oh, I don't want.
Sorry. You wanted the whole thing?
I want the whole thing.
Okay,
Okay.
here's where you were.
Yeah, I just, I like to be able to have access to this. Okay. We have news. Whenever you're looking at that, you see news, properties,
I can't see it right here.
well, that's
Can't
okay.
see what
I'm
you
gonna
see.
change this. So, whenever you're looking at it, you got news, and that tells you a little bit of information of stuff that's going on that's current. You've got properties. That's a whole bunch of information right there. And when what you're looking at, you're saying, I have no idea what that little blue diamond means. We can punch on that blue diamond, and what does that do? Oh, wow. It pulls us over to another piece of property. That's the property you're looking at. Now, I'm not much on office buildings. I don't really give a rip about them. They're good money if you can sell them. They're a lot of work. But I can go into property type. I don't want to select all. Maybe we're going to do this for my purposes. You can do it for retail. If you look, you've got office, industrial, retail, flex, multifamily, student, land. I have no idea what student means. Land, hospitality, healthcare, specialty, sports, and entertainment. My preference is land. Okay. Still looks like the same amount of property, doesn't it? When you got a whole bunch of crap up there that is available. Now, is available to you in terms of information. If you don't take time to explore what is available to you and think outside the box, it'll be like that tunnel you're going down, and it'll be like a long, dark tunnel because the only thing you can see is a little bit of spot at the end of that tunnel, and you miss all the peripheral great stuff that can make you money. Okay, so the purpose of this is client development. So whenever I look at land, okay, I'm going to look at, okay, land. Well, shoot, I don't want all that stuff in front of me whenever I'm looking at it. Well, listing type, I'm going to change that to for sale. Well, shoot, look at that. I've changed it to, and I know, Steve, this stuff is probably just old stuff to you. That's cool. But whenever, because Steve works with CoStar, and he knows how to maneuver this stuff. Knowing how to maneuver it, yet process information and garner it into something that you can use are two different things. It's great if I can go in and I can find a piece of property for my client. But if it's not for sale, what am I going to do? I'm just going to say, crap, let me go to Crexie. And then go, oh, crap, let me go to Gravitas. You know, that's not what you do. Okay. We're trying to find clients. Some of us get tunnel vision in terms of we have a client who has a need, and we start to focus on, man, I got to find this for that client. And we don't think in terms of our search needs to be for clients. If we fill that need, it's just like you filling the need of a client of mine. What's the purpose of that search? To find clients. Okay? In your own business, yes, we want to find properties for our clients, but what is our main purpose? To broaden our base in terms of clients we're working with. When you do that, then you can start to have multiple contracts you're working on. And whenever you get so busy that you're working on contracts and you don't have time to find more clients, well, that's a nice problem to have. How many of us have that problem? I will say I do at this point. That's why I have people helping me out in terms of finding properties. I've got clients looking for stuff. Good.
Alexandra.
We do.
Hey, Alexandra. Okay, so go ahead. You have more clients than you need.
That's right.
You have more clients than you need.
Yes, that's what she said.
Then can you give them some?
Oh, she knew.
Okay.
It's hard to keep up with his needs.
I missed that.
Can you say that again, Alexandra?
It's hard to keep with everybody's needs.
Yes.
This is right.
Okay, so whenever I'm looking at this, I'm saying, okay, this is a property that is for sale. Now, it's a piece of land, okay? I need to move this. I'm going to put it over here or somewhere. Okay, so this is a piece of property for sale. 3815 Hollister. I don't know anything about it. Okay? I'm choosing something out of the blue. This is for sale. Now, whenever I look at that, I'm going to pull up information on it that, those are pictures. All right, for sale for $5.7 million. That's a lot of money. Okay? So what in the world is it? It's a property. Okay? It's 5.01 acres. Evidently, it's in a good area. Okay? But what does this say? It says summary. You've got tenant, loan, financials, changes, demographics, public record, contacts. What is that? Okay, Reed King has it. And evidently they're trying to sell it. All right, so that's good information. Okay, it tells us a little bit of information about who has it and on all that. But let's go back over here. If you start, keep in mind you're looking for clients. If you start looking at, I want to go back. CoStar, you can't have multiple screens, so you have to go back and forth. Okay, so if I'm coming down here and say I just go right there. All right, I'm going to explore. Okay, this is for sale, price not disclosed. I'm looking at the screen and thinking, I don't really care for that. Okay, this is another one. 11020. Say I want a particular area. Now, I can go, I kind of like, I have somebody that's looking for something in the northern side. Say I want this area around, that's 99. That means this is going to be Tomball. Now, what's nice is I've got all this area here, but I can come over here. These little fields on the left, I can do a radius. And if I want to, I can go just like that, and it narrows my search to where these people are in the Tomball area. Okay, these are still all for sale. But see, I want off-market properties. These are for sale. I can't really approach those people. I can just approach them and say, hey, how much you want for your property? But if I come back over here and clear this, and I come here and do a radius map, again, now I have all of these properties, including grays. Tell me what the grays are.
Off market,
Off market? Why are they off market?
not listed.
They're not listed, but why are they on here?
Sold.
What's that?
Sold before.
They were sold before.
Before had transaction.
At one time, there was a transaction and CoStar kept that information. Okay? So, yeah, now I've got a big circle there. So I kind of like to have I'm going to clear that, and I'm going to go with a little bit smaller one because I want a little bit smaller area. And sometimes areas that we're looking for can be rather, we don't want to get to where we're just looking everywhere. Okay, so we'll just go with that. Now, you can see there are for sale signs, for sales in there. Well, we're going to zoom in a little bit more. And keep in mind, I want sales, I want all properties. Then I come in here, but I want to limit it to land. Okay? Disappeared some, right? Then land area, I don't care about that. Why? I'm looking for clients. Okay? Some of them, they may be looking for 20 acres, they may be looking for 1 acre, they may be looking for 100 acres. But I'm looking for clients. So I don't care about land area. I don't want auctions, personally. That doesn't appeal to me. So let's just see what this is. Now, keep in mind, if you're working with CoStar, you don't have to move that little thing back and forth. Well, you don't see it. You see it at the top. Mine is in the middle of the screen. Okay. Now, whenever I look at that, okay, somehow I have something here, 18 Augusta Pines. So whenever I'm looking at this, I've got a picture, and it says that at one time this was for sale. Okay, it was gray. It sold. So whenever I come in here, I say, okay, I don't need that, I don't need that. Contacts. That gives me no information. So I'm going to go back and say, I don't care about that one. And I want to find a different one. All right.
What are we looking for?
I'm going to tell you. All right. So here's one on 22719 Kirkendall. It's a gray. Okay. So at one time, sold price was 9.8 million. Must have been, it was 25 acres. Now, so we go into that and we say, okay, who is the owner now? Okay, true owner, Flat Rock Companies. Recorded owner, Shaps Ray Holdings. But let me tell you, and then it says principal, Caleb Lawson. Okay, previous recorded owner. See, this is good information for you. Previous recorded owner, the Flat Rock Companies owns it. Now, a lot of times we do a whole lot of research trying to figure out, okay, who owns this property, who owns that property, how do we get in touch with them? What does that say? That's just a phone number. Now, they're not all going to be to the right people at the right time, but what does it do? It gets you in touch with them, and you even have a name. He's principal. What does that mean? One of the owners. Okay, so do you want to talk to this guy? How would you approach him? First of all, you look at the property that he bought, and you can go to MapRight and see what they bought. Okay, see what they're doing with it. Are they developing it? And it's kind of instead of going to MapRight first and saying, I kind of like this area, let me see what I can find out. Go to an area where you have phone numbers already, and you're working the other way. So I might call Flat Rock Companies and say, I noticed that you have a piece of property out at such and such. Wanted to find out, you can go into MapRight and possibly see if they're developing. It's not an easy process, but it's a smart process. You can see if they're doing any kind of developing. You can go to MapRight, see if a development is there, and then go into CoStar and see who the owner was and possibly get phone numbers from there. Okay, so I can get in touch with him and find out, what are y'all doing out there? And, you know, if you see any kind of development going on, you can work into it and just say, do you have any commercial reserves available? What does that get you?
Well, it gets a conversation.
It gets a conversation started.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we have a group of, in this office, 57 agents. Do you think any of them are looking for commercial reserves? Sure. I know I am. Okay? So it gives you a conversation that you can have with them and discuss, I have a client, or, you know, we have, and you can say we because we're all we have a client that we're looking for commercial reserves in some of the communities in the developments. You know, obviously, maybe they're developing, maybe it says a Woodland submarket. Let's go back.
For newer people, can you explain what commercial reserves are?
Yeah. Whenever you have a mixed-use community, you have the developer will come in and they will, that's what the Woodlands was. It was mixed use. That's what's the Kevin Jubilee? That they're all mixed-use communities, which means that they're building homes. They want retail in the front. They want daycare centers. They want, you name it, they want it out in that area because, so what will happen is they'll sell the home lots, and as that develops, well, they'll reserve the commercial area because they can get more money for it. And they sell it, and they can determine who they want to sell to, the type of product that they want there. Oddly enough, I have a client wanting property out in Colony Ridge, and they're really getting picky about what they want. And Colony Ridge is a scary area. You know? I don't like to drive it, but I have clients that see business there, and that's all that really counts. They want to be out there. So, you know, whenever I'm calling out there, they have commercial reserves available, and they'll say, we want $15 a square foot for X, and then anything beyond that, we want $9 a square foot. They're not real negotiable anymore, but they feel like they deserve it. All right, so whenever I'm looking at this.
Can I add something real quick?
Yes.
I'm joking. Where is she? There you are. With regard to commercial reserves, when you look at a plat of a subdivision, it won't always say commercial reserve, but you'll see on the plat or in your legal descriptions when you're pulling stuff up, Reserve A, Reserve B, something like that. Those are commercial reserves. So anytime you look at a plat, you're going to see especially in front of subdivisions, and those are deed restricted for that use only.
Does a developer determine what goes there?
They can.
They can?
They can, yeah. It's their land. They can deed restrict it. They're going to deed restrict it for commercial use,
Okay.
but they can further restrict it as far as classification of commercial that goes in there. Or you also have to consider restrictions for the municipality or the county if they have a daycare that they've allowed to go in, then a C-store isn't going to go in next to it.
Right, or if you have a church across the street, you'd have to take a look at what
Right.
the need would be that you could.
Sure.
Now, whenever I'm looking at this, yeah, I look at that and that looks, you know, it's just kind of a map. Well, you can come over here. I like to do the aerial. That way I can see what the area looks like. And a lot of times I don't necessarily need this to be in a circle. So I can clear that. And I still want to go, I want to come back to my land. So it'll take a bunch of them off. And maybe I just want minimum 10 acres or 1 acre. And say we want minimum, say 20 acres. 29. Didn't change a whole lot, did it? Okay? You still have some that are for sale. If I start to zoom in, I can start to see where some of this is and what looks, to be possibly what I might find interesting. Okay, this is on Kirkendall. I don't know what it was. It was 5 acres, commercial land, sold at one time. Doesn't look like they're doing any developing on it. And so the point is, you come in here, not disclosed. Let's see what the contacts are. Okay. Here we have recorded owner in Dallas. They bought it in 22. So we don't know what they're going to do. True owner, same people. Previous owner, Judy Darlene Flores. Okay. She had owned it since 88, which means she held it for 4 years and then sold it. So is she an investor? These people, are they investors? Well, look at this. You have Parkus. I'm going to show you.
What's the difference between a recorded owner and a true owner?
Well, you have the name of the owner on there, and sometimes the true owner will be maybe a partner or someone they're partnering with.
Or an LLC.
Or
a corporation.
Okay.
It doesn't hurt to have both. If CoStar has the information, they tend to put it on there. So if you go contacts, the point is, now see this is underlined. I would imagine that whenever I hit that, it's taking me to the company information. They're a developer in Dallas. Okay, that's good to know. Do they have other developments that they're working on? Are they looking for land in Houston? Are they looking for land in the Houston and surrounding areas? What are they planning on doing with that 5 acres? Have they bought it and then decided, we're just holding it, and if we get if we can sell it, we will. Maybe they just want to flip the land. And we don't know what they paid for it. We'd like to, but whenever you go into the summary, sometimes you can get a feel for what they paid for, public record, parcels, public record. Sometimes you can find information even in MapRight, if you'll recall. If you pulled up this, you'd be able to pull up HCAD that might tell you what the loan was, and then you know how much they kind of paid for it. Okay? Or how much they paid down, and you kind of extrapolate from that an approximate. The point is, whenever I'm looking at this, it's giving me information, giving you or us information that we're not having to dig. And we can go back and we can say, all of these grays, just for the sake of it, okay, Hidden Lane Farm, let's go to something a little bit, this is 99, okay? Let's look at this one. Grand Parkway, 6.11 acres in Spring. Okay? Now, 6.11 acres, raw land, and it gives traffic counts, documents, 219 brochure. There's the brochure on it, and it had pad sites. It's in, you know, it gives you a lot of information, and yet this is a pad site that was bought, and let's see who the contacts are. Pasternak Management. I've heard of Pasternak. Yeah, we're trying to deal with Pasternak. We were trying to deal with him on something before. Kevin can tell you all about him. Matt Pasternak, right? Yeah, we've run into him before. Now, what does this mean? Evidently, he bought it. Does that mean that he's looking for other properties? Have you ever asked him about looking for other properties? Just quickie, you know? No. Okay. Sometimes we don't think about that. We're thinking about what they have for sale. But a client is a buyer or seller, or both. Okay? So, I mean, I'm familiar with Pasternak. I had a deal under contract with him for, what, $5 million, something like that? And it didn't close because he's a tough guy to work with, and it's not necessarily him, it was the overall property. It was at 2920 and 99. 6 acres.
Still for sale.
Still for sale. And everything's evidently worked out on it, but, you know, I'm not sure that my client would even go there. But that's the contact on that. Now, let's go back again.
Is this something he bought in February of 23? Is that what that said?
Let's look. Where was it? Right here.
Is that not the one that we were?
Yeah, it is.
That is the one we were looking
That's
at.
the one y'all were looking at.
Yeah.
Is that 2920?
It says
6.11?
It was 6
And it's,
acres.
it's that one.
Okay.
And just as an FYI, the new sign is down. It's
Okay.
been removed.
So this is the piece of property we were looking at.
Yeah, that's what I
Okay.
said.
And he hadn't even owned it very long then, right?
Be a name change.
Okay. He may have bought it from the people who were developing next door and still had a problem. Okay. The point is, this has information on it that it doesn't hurt to know. Okay? Now, I'm going to go back. You've got properties, leasing, tenants, directory. We've got owners in here. Blackstone. Now, I want you to look at this. Blackstone Inc. is a parent, equity funds, New York. Properties, they have over 11,000 properties. You think they're looking for more? Think they might have some for sale? I don't know if they're all in Houston or not. People are in New York. Pro Lodges, Brookfield. If you click on this, it'll give you information about them. You may get a phone number. The point is, when you start, don't go to a program to see just what you can get for your client, because that becomes tunnel vision. Think outside the box. Think in terms of, okay, how can I make this information work for me? How can I make money with it? Now, Steve, CoStar told you how to find clients, right? What'd they do? Tell you to go to old listings and work them, or what'd they say?
No, it's a little bit better now.
What is it?
Well, so they were showing us filters that you can use if you've got properties that are showing they're delinquent on their loans. You can do
Good.
that. I'm trying to think of some of the other stuff that shows. There's ways you can look and see where, I think where you see, if you're looking for C-stores, you know, there's some icons that you can get to pop up and stuff to show you who owns it, what other entities are slated to go in on the piece of land.
Okay.
Like, you want to find all the HEBs, you
Okay.
can do that. I mean, there's a lot of things we didn't know that are available that you can filter in and out on these things.
Okay. Well, but they're also encouraging you to use their software to find clients,
Oh, absolutely.
basically.
Yeah.
And if Steve has an understanding of it, if you say, Steve, can you show that to me? If he has a meeting with them, and I think it's once a month or something like that, what is it?
Yeah, it's once a month.
And they want to give you information on how to use their stuff, you need to take advantage of it. Unless you just have so many clients you don't need them. Most do not have more clients than they need. And even if you get to the point that you have more clients than you need, can you have a better one than the one that's last on that list?
Probably.
Probably. So we always look for better clients because some clients have trouble making decisions. So back to this, whenever I'm you know, all of this is back to, let's do, you know, if I go into retail, I don't want auctions. You know, I'm not really big into auctions because I'm not going to make really any money. Some people get into multifamily. Let's look at a multifamily property.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, you can.
With regard to auctions,
Yes.
isn't there the potential, just asking, isn't there the potential that whoever purchased the property at auction might be willing to flip it?
There are some good, that's a good way to approach them. Find out who bought the property, if it was auctioned. Yeah, that's, you know, you can.
I mean, if it was distressed, there's probably a problem anyway, but I'm just
Well,
asking.
and you look at this one, this is 7914 Sexton. I don't know where that is. Somewhere, looks like it's inside the loop. This is proposed. This one's under contract. It's 7 units, apartments. Then you have Paul Quinn. I used to do a lot on work on Paul Quinn. That's in Acres Homes area. And it has come up a lot since I started working it. But this one's for sale for $10.5 million. Okay, it's proposed apartments. Okay, so if I come into here, this is 92 units on Bissnet. Now, I'm opening it up. It was sold a while back. 92 units. Now, it's not for sale. I can look at that and go, oh, well, I don't want to mess with that because it's not for sale. But I still come back in here to, yuck. Previous owner, Oldham Goodwin, Pont Alba. We'll find a different one.
It's right by railroad tracks.
Okay. Oldham Goodwin I used to work with. Okay. This one's 274 apartments. If you're doing multifamily can be a good thing. If you look at this, you've got property contacts, true owner, recorded owner, and public REIT. Contacts, it tells you who tells you information. And what does it tell you? It gives you a website. You can go to their website and see if they have anything else available or what they're looking for, possibly. Or you have a phone number, Vice President Marketing. Are they looking for property? Do you have a piece of property that you know about that you can approach them on? Whenever you approach someone who, multifamily, land, or whatever, have something in your pocket to talk to them about. You know, look, I have a piece of property at such and such, or one of our agents has a piece of property that is suited for multifamily. Want to find out if this might fit what y'all are looking for. All they can do is say yes or no. Well, no, that's not really an area. Oh, then where do you go? What do you talk to them about that at that point?
Are they looking for other?
That's right. You just open up a conversation. Are you looking for, is there something that I can approach you on so I don't call you and waste your time? And if they're active in the market, they're on CoStar. I mean, if they own the property, if they're looking for more properties, they may say, well, yeah, as a matter of fact, we're looking for something out in, Waller area because of all the growth that's going on out there. We have growth, as I've shown you before, we have growth all over Houston. I showed you where you have communities coming up, and you can go in and you can find out who that developer is, and you can call them about commercial reserves. Sometimes the advantage of CoStar is use it in conjunction with your other stuff, and you have access to names, you have access to phone numbers, you have access to websites. We can sit in our office and go, oh, man, how do I get in touch with, such and such? Is that the only potential client out there? No. Make your job a little bit easier by going to existing accessible information that you can develop into clients. And let me say, if you're new, it ain't easy. That's how we learn. We go in, we make that phone call, and we find out, man, I screwed that phone call up. We can make a better phone call next time. The only way you're going to make a better phone call is by making the first phone call and then getting better at it. And be willing to say, be willing to learn from what you do wrong. If you can't do that, you're in the wrong business. We're not salespeople. We don't want to be just somebody that goes down the road and waits for somebody to knock on our door. Call us out of the blue. The more phone calls you make with regard to, make them count. Whenever you call people like this, I don't have, I'm going to go back here. Keep in mind, I go back to, I don't want multifamily. I like my land. Now, you can do a combination, but I like my land. Okay, so, and land type, I just want to leave that blank. Then I want to come over here. I want to do my aerial because I like to be able to see kind of what I'm looking at. Now, if I come over here, this is messy. I can't tell squat. Well, if I hit corridor, got rid of it. Now I can at least focus on on the area that I want. So then whenever I finally say, okay, We have people working out. This is in the Waller area. Okay, let me put take that, cancel that off. And then all of a sudden, I have a whole bunch of properties coming up again. Now, I don't know what they are. Cameron Road, Waller, 97 acres. I can kind of go, everything you see here is over here. Okay? So instead of going here, you can kind of, well, there's a little warehouse. And then I pull that up. I don't know if it's for sale or not. Public record, flood risk, contacts, recorded owner, Castle Road Pastures in Cypress, Texas. This is out in Waller. Now, it's not giving me their phone number, but we still have our ways of finding phone numbers. Let's do this. Well, shoot. Okay, that tells me, oh, and it has no data, properties. So there's not a whole lot about them. Company overview, all you have is the parent company and their headquarters is in Cypress. It could be one individual sitting behind a desk. And you may be the phone call that he needs to find another piece of property. Okay, so don't, how do I get rid of that? The point is, information is valuable if you use it. CoStar can be very valuable to you if you use it. If the only reason you use it is to find comps, well, who are you cheating? Yourself. Not just yourself, but a potential client may need you because somebody else isn't doing what you're doing. Okay, so my recommendation is that you go in and utilize information that is available to you. Now, every one of these was bought. This is 61 acres field store. I used to live out there. I don't know where it's at, field store area. This is 22 acres. Now, if I decide, well, I really don't want that, I'm going to go back over here and I'm going to go 1 to 10. You know, I'll do that. A little less clutter on the page. Okay, now I know that I'm looking at, 10-acre lots, which might be a little bit easier as a realtor to sell. Okay, so we got a 1-acre lot, Castle Waller. We got I don't know what this is, 0 Joseph Road, Hockley, 5.87 acres. Maybe more residential than anything else, but it's on a commercial site. Keep in mind, multifamily, mixed use, those are considered commercial and can be out in the boonies. Now here's one. I'm looking at 421 University Drive, Prairie View. This is looks like it's a hard corner. 1.39 acres. Now, it just says there's an acreage there. It's out in Prairie View, hard corner. It looks like this is 290, and it's not for sale. So we don't know what, and we don't even have the owner, but you can find out who the owner is, right? By going to MapRide. Okay, so it's using one in conjunction with the other. Crexy's good, but Crexy doesn't have as much history as CoStar. And CoStar is very proud of it, and they make you mad as all get out. But at the same time, I find myself going, man, I need CoStar. I need to use CoStar. How many times you come to me and say, I need to get on CoStar?
You're hogging it.
Yeah, no, you're welcome. And but with it being Philippe, I get off right away and let him, do his thing, and because otherwise he'll whine to me about it. Okay. You think I'm kidding? Okay. Now.
You can't hear me.
What'd you say?
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to close this thing out because I'm not going to belabor this. If you decide you want to use CoStar and learn, I would encourage you to do so. Now, I want to read this because I think this was a good. It's some good. Just let me raise it up just a little bit. I was waiting in line for a ride at the airport. When a cab pulled up, the first thing I noticed was that the taxi was polished to a bright shine. Smartly dressed in a white shirt, black tie, and freshly pressed black slacks, the cab driver jumped out and rounded the car till he opened the back passenger door for me. He handed me a laminated card and said, "I'm Wasu, your driver. While I'm loading your bags in the trunk, I'd like you to read my mission statement." Taken aback, I read the card. It said, "Wasu's mission statement: to get my customers to their destination in the quickest, safest, and cheapest way possible in a friendly environment." Well, this blew me away, especially when I noticed that the inside of the cab matched the outside, spotlessly clean. As he slid behind the wheel, Wasu said, "Would you like a cup of coffee? I have a thermos of regular and one decaf." I said jokingly, "No, I prefer a soft drink." Wasu smiled and said, "No problem. I have a cooler up front with a regular and a Diet Coke, a lassi, water, and orange juice." Almost stuttering, I said, "I'll take a lassi since I've never had one before." Handing me my drink, Wasu said, "If you like something to read, I have Good Housekeeping magazine, Reader's Digest, the Bible, and a Travel and Leisure magazine." As they were pulling away, Wasu handed me another laminated card. "These are the stations I get and the music they play, if you'd like to listen to the radio." And as if that weren't enough, Wasu told me that he had the heater on and asked if the temperature was comfortable for me. Then he advised me of the best route to my destination for that day and time of day. He also let me know that he'd be happy to chat and tell me about some of the sites, or if I preferred to leave me to my own thoughts. I said, "Tell me, Wasu." I was amazed and asked him, "Have you always served customers like this?" Wasu smiled in the rearview mirror. "No, not always. In fact, it's only been in the last 2 years. My first 5 years driving, I spent most of my time complaining like all the rest of the cabbies do." Then I heard about power of choice one day. Power of choice is that you can be a duck or an eagle. If you get up in the morning expecting to have a bad day, you rarely disappoint yourself. Stop complaining. Don't be a duck, be an eagle. Ducks quack and complain. Eagles soar above the crowd. "That hit me right," said Wasu. He continued and said, "It's about me. I was always quacking and complaining. So I decided to change my attitude and become an eagle. I looked around at the other cabs and their drivers. The cabs were dirty, the drivers were unfriendly, and the customers were unhappy. So I decided to make some changes. I put in a few changes at a time. When my customers responded, well, I did more. I take it that it has paid off for you, I said. It sure has, Wasu replied. My first year as an Eagle, I doubled my income from the previous year. This year, I'll probably quadruple it. My customers call me for appointments on my cell phone and leave a message on it. Wasu made a different choice. He decided to stop quacking like ducks and start soaring like eagles. So have an eagle life. Some of us look at things as big problems, and we focus on the negatives. And it's easy to point fingers and look around us and say, you know, everybody else is unhappy. I guess I ought to be unhappy too. Everybody else, there's a lot of people who aren't successful. I guess I'm just one of them. Or you can change your attitude and don't focus on the negatives. Give more of yourself to what you do. Okay? You've got an opportunity. Whenever you think of your clients, hey, they're not going to be easy. They'll be a pain. But whenever they are a pain, if they're buying, do you want them talking to you? I want them calling me. Let me show you. I want to show you something real quick, like if I can find it. I was working an area. What does this look like? That's Greenpoint area. Okay? I was working it recently because I have a client who said, Steve, he's a client. He said, can you see what you can find me in terms of a hard corner? Looks like Northwest Mall is developing, and they may have something that's for sale in Northwest Mall area. I would like
Greens
to.
Point.
Yeah.
Greens.
Okay.
Yeah, Guns Point.
They're both bad. Okay. Greens Point. Okay. Greens Point area. You know, so I went out to Greens Point on my map. I didn't drive it. It's dangerous out there. So I started marking what was there. Greens Point North Properties. This is for lease only. TriStar, kind of an interesting name because I think I have a client who owns that TriStar. And I didn't know he owned it. Then, in the course of this, I saw Spark Partners. Okay, Claire saw it, I saw it. Spark Partners has this little corner here. And I wanted to call them and see, well, if they haven't got it developing yet, would it be available for a hard corner? Well, whenever I put a call, let's see, I'm not sure.
Recognize the address.
They called me, well, yeah, Claire was looking into it too. And she said, you know, this address looks interesting. So she looked it up and she found the name.
It looked very familiar. The address was familiar.
Well, I had the guy's phone number in my phone because I saved him. So, and this is within the past week. I had his phone number in my phone. So I went to my call list. I went back to 2017. Oddly enough, I keep my list that long. Anyway, I found his name in my call list, and in 2017, I wasn't doing much with gas stations. And my attitude about gas stations was, shoot. I started looking for little hard corners for them and found out that, man, they're not very easy to find. And I thought, well, this is crap. Gas station people are a dime a dozen. Everybody wants a gas station site, but none of them are good enough. That was my attitude. 2017, I was with a different company. When I when he called back, and I thought, this guy's in my phone. You know, and so I talked, got him on the phone, and we talked, and he said, Steve, he said, yeah, you were in my phone too. You know, he kept me. We hadn't talked since 2017. He was very nice. He said, I said, you know, I think we spoke in 2017, thereabouts. He said, yeah, I was just getting started in C-stores. I said, really? And I said, well, I remember us talking, and you were looking for a location. I said, you have this location here. He said, yeah, we're just now starting to build on it. We've already started construction. I said, cool. I guess that's out for my client. But I asked him, well, how are things going? He said, well, we've got about 20 locations now. I messed up. 2017, I had the potential of a pretty decent little client. Hey, he still called me back, and he said I can still look for sites for him. And I told him, well, I'd like to get with you. I'd like to get with you and see if there's any way I can help you. You know, because, you know, but that was my screw up. Because I discounted him. He's a newbie, but he's doing pretty good. You never know who you're going to be talking to. And it's kind of a drag whenever I go back into my phone list and I have them since 2017 and before. I keep daily logs of my phone calls with people. And I remember seeing, you know, I'd go back and it was a gas station person, just getting a start. But, that, you know, think about it, 20 locations. That's a lot of business to miss out on. Yep. And you have people who are just starting out. I am amazed at how much money in our day and age, how much money people have to invest. Yes, ma'am.
One of the things about this situation, it brings up 2 points. One, fortunately, he was on good terms with the gentleman that he reached out to. If you keep your call lists, keep your database, it doesn't hurt you to go back and recycle your database. Go back to your old people that you've touched base with in the past, because they mature just like you do. So the other thing that's a little bit ironic is that in 2017, 2016, 2017, Steve was doing, I mean, he's always just done commercial, but he was doing land for different stuff. And now, and he said, oh, well, he's gas station. That's almost all he does now. His clients, even his whale started, we've actually got 2 or 3, started out as looking for a small gas station. You just don't know. So go back, you know, cycle back. Also, when you're looking at Land ID or CoStar or whatever, the TriStar that he mentioned, that's one of the entities that one of our current clients uses.
And we're
So
trying
it's
to
like,
go
whoa,
I just spoke
okay.
with him. I just spoke with him this morning. I'm pretty sure it's the same guy.
Yeah, it is. No, it is.
And we're trying to go under contract with a piece of property today.
And we're already under contract on another.
We're already under contract. How many?
Use, real quick, use Open Corporate or one of the other corporation wiki. Do an officer check. Pull your client up as an officer, okay? And it will show every entity they are associated with.
Which can be kind of scary.
Then you can go and you can see what their actual holdings are and who the other officers are, because we've got We've got 3 clients right now that we're working for that are all interlinked, but they're looking for separate things on their own. You have buying groups, you have larger buying groups, you have super groups, and you have mega groups. And the mega groups can be over 100 people. I mean, that's the way they work, and they all crisscross. Okay, they all
They
crisscross.
tend to know each other.
Yeah, and within their communities.
Yeah.
So you have to be careful with confidentiality stuff,
Careful what you say.
but find out, look up your clients, and then look up their entities, and then see who the other officers are. There's nothing keeping you from reaching out to the other officers, because I can almost guarantee you they're doing their own thing too.
I was just gonna see, assessed year, when was it bought? Can I see that?
Down further, I think is when it shows the sale.
Year built 1995. Okay, you think about it. I've talked to this guy. I work with this guy.
Actual year bill's 2008.
Okay,
That would make more sense.
I work with this guy, and I'm trying to do a contract with him. I'm working on this area. Didn't know this was there, and I didn't know about this guy. Small world.
Just an FYI, something I've noticed that's in Land ID. You see at the top where it shows the parcel overview, it gives you the title company. How many times have we needed information? I know Philippe needed some stuff here recently. And if you have the original title company information, 9 times out of 10, your sellers, they don't remember what title company they closed through. So there it is. And while you may not have the GF number, the title company will be able to pull it up for you.
Let me ask you a question though. When you look up your clients on white pages after you've gone through the corporate and all that, you notice how they have associated with certain properties? Do you think it's do you think it's worth paying the extra to have that information? And if so, is it accurate? Have you looked up on your own?
You can, yeah, I have a couple of times. You can, but the thing about it is you already have access on some of the other programs.
If you go to Open Corporates and it gives you the list of all the different corporations.
Yes.
If you look at that name, would it tie into all those different properties that they are associated with? Is it that detailed when you're looking it up?
On white pages?
As an information source?
No.
Okay, so it's not. I'm
No.
just curious about that.
Yeah, no, it's
You didn't have to
personal
click on
ownership.
each one and then have to do research.
Yeah, white pages is personal ownership.
Right, well, you know how they have like
But, right,
10 phone numbers and,
right.
you know, half of them are dead.
But I think you could take that same information and put it into CoStar and pull up.
I'll never try it.
Might.
I don't know how to
It
do
might. But the thing about it is, it's like a puzzle. It's like putting together a 5,000 piece puzzle. You know, you start getting the pieces and the picture comes into focus. And it's going to help you.
And also, let me say this. We have new people who's been in this for 5 years or more.
Not a
Okay.
few. It's
A
been
lot of
doing
us have not. I haven't been in this for very long. I've been in it for 11, 12 years, something like that. That's not very long. But all of Houston, as you go, you start to realize, I know this person. Kevin's talking to somebody, is it Ben Taub? Or is it you? Is it-
Grandson of Ben Taub.
who has lots of land. But, you know, it's kind of, you know, he looks at it and says, is this the Ben Taub? Because, you know, kind of an unusual name. And you know, you never can tell who you're talking to or what they own. You know, it kind of goes back to the people that, you know, I have 2 properties under contract right now. And the guys are a part of a larger buying group, but they're buying some stuff on their own too. And we're trying to go under contract with 2 deals. They're both about $4 million. We've got the deal, and they're just negotiating, first of all, the gas deal, because it has to be branded. Looks like that might happen. And so it'll be a branded station. They have 2 stations under contract.
Explain
What, huh?
what you mean by branded.
Branded Sunoco is a brand. Mobile is a brand. Texaco is a brand. Well, they're going to have to market as it's Sunoco brand gas, or it's Texaco gas, and depends on what kind of deal they can get. Fortunately, the fuel company has gotten to the point that they're saying we can give them several brands. We've got a little bit of flexibility. They didn't have that before. But, you know, it's $8 million, and one of the guys has another deal under contract on the Beltway for a couple million. That's $10 million. That is under, you know, that I'm $8 million trying to go under contract. All I have to do is get them to say yes, and then we can move forward. And they want it if they can get a good, you know, deal. One of the guys said, "Do you have any others?" I was kind of, I might have some. He said, "If you have any other off-market properties, let me know." And he said, "You know, because we're wanting to, you know." I'm thinking, you know, we're already $8 million, and that's not the issue with them. It's whether they want it or not. Because one person in a buying group, if he wants to bring in 3 others, 5 others, 6 others, that's how they do their deals. And they all get a piece of that pie, depending on what they put into it. So keep that in mind. I mean, this is just one little area in Houston. One area. I've never done any business in the Greens Point area. But I know 2 owners. And you know, and I haven't really looked too much at it. I might know somebody else. I mean, I know that one of these is another, you know, there's several gas stations there. One of them is Time-Wise is there. Yeah, they don't sell anything. They're not going to sell their gas stations because I called them and talked to them. But whenever you are developing your business, whether you're new or you're 5 years into it, work smart. Utilize the tools and think outside the box. You know, listing type, we got office, industrial, retail, flex, multifamily land, hospitality, healthcare specialty, flex. We've got all sorts of types. Learn to think outside the box whenever you're doing your business. And I think that's it. Thank you very much. I hope this was helpful.